A very good evening. Welcome to Prime TV News. I'm Ishara Nautuna. It's time for your headlines. The President and the Prime Minister congratulate Hindu devotees on the glittering ceremony of Deepavali. The President asks if the appointment of the Prime Minister is unconstitutional. Seek the opinion of the Supreme Court. It is stressed in the British Parliament that the decisions of the Sri Lankan President based on constitution should not be undermined. Showers and thunder showers will continue. US midterm elections 2018. Polls open on East Coast. Today marks Deepavali, the Festival of Lights. In his congratulatory message, President Maithripala Sirisena points out that the festival symbolizes the victory of light over darkness and knowledge over ignorance to inculcate noble values such as spiritual discipline and wisdom in the hearts of the people.
The President elaborated that the meaning of Deepavali is to illuminate the lives of all individuals, just as lighting a lamp eliminates darkness and dispel evil. He added that cultural festivals such as Deepavali play a pivotal role in building coexistence and reconciliation among different communities that suffered numerous adversities due to separation over the past decades. In his message, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said Deepavali underscores the great spiritual values of Hinduism and is an occasion for Hindus to strive for greater spirituality, foster understanding among communities and promote harmony among people. The Premier conveyed his warmest felicitations to all Hindu devotees in Sri Lanka on this joyous occasion.
President Maithripala Sirisena says he will take every possible step to build long-lasting peace and reconciliation in the country. He made these remarks addressing a special ceremony held at the President's house to mark the Deepavali celebration, which was organized under the guidance of the President. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa was also part of the celebration. Cultural ceremonies such as Deepavali plays a pivotal role in building coexistence and reconciliation among different communities that suffered numerous adversities due to separation between communities of the past decades, President Sirisena stated in his Deepavali message. President Sirisena said that all citizens of the country must be subject to the just and equal treatment. The ceremony was colourful with many cultural events, including Hindu dances. Opposition leader R. Sambandhan, ministers and MPs, dignitaries including diplomats participated at this event. President Maithripala Sirisena says if the appointment of the Prime Minister is unconstitutional, anybody can seek the opinion of the Supreme Court in this regard. The President was speaking at the Rata Rakina Jana Mahime rally. President Sirisena said that he consulted legal experts before taking the decision to appoint the Prime Minister based on his 5-decade-long political career. He added that he has the majority power in the House. The President also requested Ranil Wickremesinghe to refrain from undermining new government's journey. This rally had been organised by the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, other political parties and civil society organisations that supported the new government. Over 200,000 people attended this public gathering. People of the north and east had also joined. The crowd came to the parliamentary roundabout 2 or 3 hours before the beginning of the rally. The crowds applauded the President for appointing President Mahinda Rajapaksa as the Prime Minister. It was also noteworthy that the President and the Prime Minister received huge cheering when they stepped into the stage. From Former Deputy Speaker of the House of Commons of Britain and Conservative politician Lord Naseby states that the international community should not meddle into internal affairs of countries when a head of state has made a decision in accordance with the constitution of the respective country. He made this statement addressing the British Parliament.
As far as I can see, there's nothing unconstitutional. Every country has its constitution. I see nothing that's happened that is unconstitutional. It's unusual, yes, but we've had unusual things in the UK. We were supposed to have a fixed-term parliament, 5 years fixed, but we never got that far. It was cut short. So these things happen, these things change. And I'm sure those who are involved, particularly the president, who is elected, an executive, he will have acted in the interest of the country. Of that I'm quite sure. I've met him on a number of occasions. I think he's a very wise man, and I'm sure whatever action he's decided will have been in the interest of the country. I haven't read the Constitution in great detail, but it's there, and there are many lawyers who will have slightly different views, I'm sure. But that's the challenge with lawyers. And it's not for a foreigner to determine whether it's constitutional or unconstitutional. And I am unhappy that a former British junior minister put down a question suggesting it was unconstitutional. That is not the role, I believe, of the UK parliamentarians. You know, you have your own constitution. We as UK, people who take an interest in Sri Lanka, of course want to help Sri Lanka. But I've been very careful over my 50 years plus of never supporting any one party or doing any business. And I would suggest to my colleagues that they do exactly the same.
The Met Department announces that under the influence of the low-pressure system in vicinity of Sri Lanka, showery and cloudy condition is expected to continue over the island and surrounding sea areas. General public, naval and fishing communities are requested to be attentive about advisories issued by the Department of Meteorology in this regard further. Fairly strong gusty winds up to 50 to 60 kilometers per hour can be expected over the island, particularly over the northern half of the island. Showers or thunder showers will occur at times in the northern, eastern, north central, northwestern and Uva provinces. Showers or thunder showers will occur elsewhere, particularly after 2 p.m. Heavy falls above 100 millimeters can be expected at some places in the northern, north central, eastern, northwestern, central and Sabaragamu provinces. Misty conditions may occur at some places in the central and Sabaragamu provinces during the morning. There may be temporary localized strong winds during thunder showers. General public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by lightning activity. The water level of several reservoirs has risen with the torrential rain occurred in the Polonnaruwa district. 10 sluice gates of the Parakramasamudra were opened due to increasing water levels. 8 sluice gates have been opened by 5 feet each and the other gates have been opened by 3 feet. The excessive water is being released through Ambanganga to the Mahaveli River. The Polonnaruwa District Disaster Management Unit is informing the people living on both banks of the river to be vigilant on the situation. Heavy rains are also experienced in the Anuradhapura district. Both sluice gates of the Mahakanadarawa Reservoir has been opened by 1.5 feet due to the rising water level. The spill water has been released to the Malwatu Oya and people living in the low-lying lands in Anuradhapura are warned to be kept alert. 4 sluice gates of the Rajangania Reservoir have also been opened. 618 cubic feet of water per second is being released. The sluice gates of the Angamur Reservoir in Anuradhapura have also been opened. 4 sluice gates of the Victoria Reservoir were opened this morning. The excessive water will be released to the Randanigala Reservoir via the Mahaveli River. It is reported that the water level in Randanigala Reservoir is also on the increase. Engineer in charge of the Randanigala Reservoir, Rajaratna, said that if the incessant rain continues, sluice gates of reservoir would have to open spill gates. 6 sluice gates of the twin reservoir of the Girandurkote Ulhitiya Ratkinda have been opened with heavy rain. The excessive water is released into the Ulhitioya. Part of the wide river Mundimuripu tank was damaged with torrential rains. Water is leaking from damaged part and steps have been taken to repair it. The army soldiers have been dispatched to quell the situation. Vavuniya District Secretary I.M. Hanifa and the disaster management officials also visited the site. Earth slips reported in central highlands with torrential downpours. The Ragalakanda Junction road was blocked due to a slip-off of a cliff mound. Meanwhile, a truck travelling on a by-road in the Vallagiri area in Mathurata too has been skidded off to a precipice. The driver was seriously injured and admitted to the Kandy hospital. The police are advising drivers to be cautious on the bad weather condition. The Japanese government has extended a grant assistance of nearly 97 million rupees to expedite the Sri Lankan government's demining efforts in the north under its grant assistance for grassroots human security project with the aim of transforming Sri Lanka into a landmine-free country. The grant contract in the regard was signed between Japanese Ambassador Akira Sugiyama and the Halo Trust Akron Program Manager Michael Dyer at the Japanese ambassador's official residence in Colombo. Japan has been a major donor supporting mine clearance in Sri Lanka to accelerate the return and resettlement of internally displaced persons and to facilitate recommencement of agriculture and other livelihood activities of returnees. Since 2003, the Japanese government has provided $33 million for demining activities in the north and the east. The Government Information Department announces that Minister Mahinda Samarasinghe and State Minister Kehelia Rambukwala have been appointed as co-cabinet spokespersons. The Minister of Ports and Shipping and the State Minister of Mass Media and Digital Infrastructure were appointed as spokespersons during the cabinet meeting held today. Leader of the PLOT parliamentarian D. Siddharthan denounces parliamentarian M.A. Sumandiran's negative remarks on the president. He made this statement at a media briefing held in Jaffna today. Sumandiran had criticized the president at a meeting held in Vavuniya. Meanwhile, Mr. Siddharthan said at a media briefing held in Vavuniya that he believes that the present government will address the problems of the Tamil people. He had said that it is possible to discuss with President Maithripala Sirisena and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa regarding the issues of the Tamil people. The 51st commemoration of senior politician D.A. Rajapaksa was held at Tangol under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. Mr. D.A. Rajapaksa, former Speaker and a Deputy Minister of Agriculture and Lands, was a former MP from Hambantota and Beliata. Mr. D.A. Rajapaksa, who played a vital role in founding and strengthening the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, has also done a yeoman service to the Hambantota district. The 51st commemoration ceremony commenced paying a floral tribute to his statue at Tangol. The Prime Minister, members of the Rajapaksa family, public representatives and school children participated in the event. Following the floral tribulation, Venerable Mirise Dhammavanshathero conducted a special Anusasana. Cicero scholarships were presented to school children in the memory of Mr. D.A. Rajapaksa at the Tangol Town Hall. The Prime Minister and several ministers of the government were present at the event. President's Counsel Ali Sabri delivered the D.A. Rajapaksa commemorative lecture. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa paid his last respects to the late L.H. Shanta, former member of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna in the Hakmana Pradeshya Sabha. The Prime Minister paid his last respects at his residence in Hakmana this afternoon. L.H. Shanta was shot dead by an unidentified gunman. Last rites of L.H. Shanta was held this afternoon with the presence of a large crowd. The world's second largest Antonov plane, AN-124, landed at the Mattala International Airport yesterday at 1:50 a.m. This was the 8th time the plane landed at the Mattala Airport this year. The plane landed in Mattala on its way to Jakarta from Karachi. According to the sources of the airport, the plane had landed at Mattala Airport for refueling. And that's all we have for you today. You can visit www.itnnews.lk for more information. I'm Ishara Nautunna. Good night.